This is YBBG with a conversation with my guy friend, and today's guy is Churchboy.
That's me.
And I met Churchboy at Power 98. We used to do these Battle of the Sexes segments, and we used to go at it
all the time.
All right, so one segment we had a question of, would you date a single parent? And I went on this whole thing about why you should and why you shouldn't. And there were a lot of different aspects to it. And Churchboy said, why not? So, Churchboy, tell us why you think it's cool to date a single parent.
Well, it just depends on what you're looking for, first and foremost. Because I was one of those people on the fence of shouldn't, because I didn't want to deal with the whole baby daddy situation. But I think it's cool, especially if you want to have a family, because now you can look at her kids and see how her kids are, and you can measure that as far as her being a mother. And I'm pretty sure if you want to be a father someday, if you're not already, you want somebody to mother and nurture your kids. So seeing how they mother and nurture their kids, you can see how they can mother and nurture your own.
So my big thing was, you mentioned it about the other parent, because I feel like it's a package deal, and that package includes the other parent.
It is. And so, but I think you have to ask questions first. That's what I did. Like, I asked questions like, what's going on with the baby daddy? Is everything cool with y'all, or do he cause drama and different things like that? So we actually had that conversation, because that's something I don't want to deal with. I'm not fighting and getting no argument over no female. I'm sorry. It's just not gonna happen with me. I'd rather move on and keep it pimping.
All right, pimping. So when you all started dating, how did you integrate getting to know the kids? Is it one child or more than one? Two children?
2 children. Yeah.
How did you get to know them while you were dating mama?
Well, for a while I didn't go around the kids, because I didn't want it to be like, if it didn't work out between us, I didn't want to get too attached, and I didn't want them to get too attached to me. But with the oldest one, she kind of opened up a little more than the youngest one did at first, because the son always gonna be more protective of his mother, and I understand that. So I mean, just different things. We all went out to the movies one day. I told her to ask them, was it cool if me and her, kicked it or whatnot? And so she asked them, and then from there, I just started, talking to the children, piece by piece, and they started getting to know me. I started getting to know them, their likes, dislikes, and different things like that. I never try to enforce the, like, I'm your daddy thing on them. I mean, because, me and the lady now, we're married, so I never try to enforce the daddy thing. I don't make them call me dad, because they actually have their dad. And so I'm just a person that's there to lend a helping hand. So that's what I am. So I never try to enforce the daddy thing.
So with the son being more protective of mom, did you all have any issues between the two of you, and how did you overcome them?
There wasn't no issue. It's just that he didn't talk that much. And so, like, he played chess, I played chess. It was funny, and I asked him, I said, you want to play chess? I'm like, no. And like one day, me and his mom was sitting in the living room watching TV, and like he walked in front of us like 4 or 5 times. He went to his room, went and got him something to drink, and the cup was empty now. But he kept going over there, turning it up like it was something to drink in there. But I knew what he was doing, so it was funny to me. It was real funny, man. But I understood where he was coming from. You don't want nobody to mess with your mom or treat your mother wrong. So I understood it, but at the same time, it was funny.
And so when you all met, and your initial reaction to now your wife, when did she tell you that she had kids? Was it early on or after?
Oh, I knew when I met her, because the way I met her, I actually went in. The way we met, she invited me to talk to some kids at our church, and so that's how we met, and then it went from there. So I already knew she had 2 children.
And when people date, this always comes up. I actually had this situation where I met this guy, and I didn't know initially that he had children. Yeah. He told me maybe 3, 4 dates in. I'm trying to remember how far in we were when he told me. So when do you think someone should reveal that they have kids when they meet somebody?
I don't know if it just depends on the conversation, and it depends on the people. I would say up front, but sometimes you may not want everybody in your business until like the second date, until you actually know that, hey, I'm just a person I want to kick it with or chill with or whatnot, because then they're gonna have to know. But if it's just somebody you just went out to eat one time, they don't necessarily have to know your business, because y'all went to eat, it didn't work, parted ways. You move on, she move on, and do it that way. But if you know that there's somebody you want to, chill with or kick it with, you should actually let them know so they can make the decision whether they want to stay in this situation or run. Because some people don't want to be in this situation because it can be kind of stressful. So I mean, I will tell the truth about that. It can be kind of stressful because you don't know how the other person's feeling, like the kid's father, or if you're a lady, the kid's mother. You don't know how the other person is feeling about the father and their kids, because once you create a bond as a family, you never know if that person want to go back to the person that they was with, or if they want to stay. So that kind of stuff runs through your mind constantly. But it's up to you to reveal that situation to the person that you're with, so they can make that decision. Don't make that decision for them. Let them make that decision.
And you said that initially you had some hesitations. What about your wife? Did she have hesitations about bringing a new guy into the lives of her children?
I think if not with me, but I think she had discussed that would be a problem because she had an older daughter, and you know how some dudes are perverts, and you don't want to bring any dude around your daughter just to be bringing people around your kids, because you never know how people are thinking, and if they're not thinking on an even scale, then they may go off and try to mess with your daughter or whatnot. She did explain that to me about other situations. But I mean, with me, I was the first one to say I don't want to really go inside. I don't want to be around your kids like that until we have established something. And it took a while for me to establish something, because one day she asked me, she said, "So what are we doing?" Mm-hmm. And so from there, we kind of build a bond in a relationship.
And over time, you have a child of your own now. Yeah. You have a little girl.
Yeah.
Do you see parenting her kind of different than parenting your son and your older daughter?
I do, because I'm raising this one from birth. And other ones, I think they were 17 at the time, or 18, and the son was like 8 or 9. And so once you have already established the parenthood, the structure in your house, I'm the type of person, I don't want to come in and change your parenting structure, because that's how you raised your children. I mean, I can't come in and say, you're going to do it my way. That's not how it's supposed to be. And like I said, I don't enforce the daddy thing. They call me by my real name. I never say, call me daddy. And unless when we're in the school events, my son will probably say, this is my dad, or if he talking to somebody else, he'll say, this is my dad. But other than that, he don't call me dad unless he wants something. Anytime he wants something, he say, father, and I already know he wants something, so I already know to say no. But that's the only thing. But before we had the baby, I sat the kids down and I told them that I wasn't gonna love them any less than I loved my biological child that's coming in. It's all the same, because my dad was the same way. My older sister has a different father than me and my other sister. And my dad, he treated everybody the same. Everybody got whoopings. That's how but he raised my older sister from when she was little. So that's the big difference. So they already grown. The other two kids are already grown, and this one is 9 months now.
Oh.
Yeah.
So I think the biggest thing that I had with the situation with dating a single parent is, again, that whole package deal. Mm-hmm. How do you negotiate between their biological father and just in general, like, how do you make it work and it's not a baby daddy situation or a baby mama situation, but it's like the mother or father of the child? How do you work that relationship out?
My situation kind of different. I don't want to explain it because I don't want to put his business out there. But we don't really have to deal with each other like that for certain reasons.
Right.
And so I don't necessarily have to deal with like talking to him or dealing with him on that situation. But I mean, my thing is I love that him and the other two have an open communication, because a father and a child bond, you can never replace that. So I encourage that, actually. So I mean, that's how I feel about it.
So how do you think people should work it out? Because you know I do family law and I see that mess all the time.
It's up to the individual, because a lot of people say stuff up front like, yeah, you know, it's gonna be all right, it's gonna be cool, but they're not honest. So you have to actually be honest with the situation, and it's gonna have to be the person that's in the middle, which is like if it's a lady dating a man with kids, the dude's gonna have to sit down and say, look, to the mother, like, this is it. You just communicate with the kids. If you're gonna talk to me about the kids. We're not talking about nothing else. That's how it is. That way you make the other woman feel comfortable. And if the woman is the one in the middle of the situation, she had to tell the now boyfriend and the baby daddy, like, look, this is our parameters. We have to set these guidelines so we can keep everybody where they're supposed to be, so that the person won't feel like, you know, he's trying to come back, or trying to go over there. So everybody got to sit down and explain what's going on, and you have to be honest. And that's what a lot of people don't want to be today. A lot of people don't want to be honest, and they get caught up in feelings. And you can't get caught up in feelings, man. Feelings will get things all turned around, and feelings will get things mixed up, and it'll be a very, very bad situation. So you have to be honest up front. Woman, if you still got feelings for the baby daddy, or dude, if you still got feelings for the baby mama, leave the other person out of it, because it's not their fault. You still got feelings for the other person. So just be honest.
All right, I think that's good. I think at the end of the day, with any situation, you have to be upfront. You have to put everything on the table. Put
it all on the table. My likes, my dislikes, you know, how I feel about the situation. And you should ask the other person how they feel about, you know, me having a baby mama or me having a baby daddy or whatever. You have to ask the other person how they feel about it. Because at the end of the day, y'all two are the ones that's together, and not you and the other parent. So you have to ask them how they feel about the situation. So that's what we did. I was up front, because I said at first I didn't want to date nobody with kids. That was my whole thing. And so I put that up front, and I was honest. So you have to be honest.
So what advice do you have for a single parent who is looking for someone to love them and have a good relationship with, and for someone who doesn't have any kids but, you know, considers dating single parents but may not?
Well, for the one the single parent, you have to know how you feel about the other parent. You have to be honest with yourself and know how you feel about the other parent before you bring somebody else into your situation. If there's no dealings with the other parent, when I say dealings, you don't have to deal with them because of the children. That's not, I'm saying there's like no romantic feelings or anything with the other parent, then it's easier to bring the other person in, and you have to explain it to the person that you're bringing in. You have to be upfront. And for the person that's looking and kind of skeptical about dating somebody that have children, you have to be honest. Like, look, I'm skeptical about this, but it may work, it may not work. This is what I expect from you. Y'all have to have expectations for each other. Nobody tells what we expect. What you expect me to do. I expect you to be honest. That's what I expect you to do. And if we're gonna be together, we're gonna be together. If not, then we both need to move on. What's going on? This your man Churchboy, and I just had a conversation with your boyfriend's best girlfriend.